Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Thanks for joining us. 9 out of 10 people who suffer cardiac arrest outside of a hospital dies. According to the American Heart Association, in most cases, bystander CPR was not performed. Well, you can find out about CPR training availability here at Geodis Park on Saturday when attending the American Heart Association's Greater Nashville Heart Walk. We'll have all the information that you need to attend Saturday, along with where to register and what other information will be available at the Greater Nashville Heart Walk. But first, let's get a check of the headlines. This former music teacher, 42-year-old Jordan Tupper of Cheatham County, is charged with 8 counts of statutory rape by an authority figure, specifically stating that the victim was between 13 and 18 years of age. Tupper's LinkedIn page shows him as a former band director with Cheatham County Schools. He was arraigned September 9th, pleading not guilty. A criminal hearing is scheduled for October 1st. For another year, the 13th District Tennessee Conference of the African Methodist Episcopal Church is working on a project that will make a difference in the world. Little Dresses for Africa is the 501c3 organization chosen. Little Dresses for Africa distributes little dresses to all parts of Africa and also works with villages to provide systems that bring clean water and educational opportunities. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
He shoots and he scores!
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Coming up on Saturday is the 33rd year for the Greater Nashville Heart Walk put on by the American Heart Association here in our area. We have Caleb Bone. He's the Senior Development Manager here with the American Heart Association.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your time and for sharing this with us.
Yeah.
33 years. How many attendees do you typically have?
So we don't get a hard count, but we estimate anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000.
That's wonderful. And for everyone coming out, what are they learning? Because it's more than just a walk.
That's right. So we have a ton of activities today. Of a lot of our role as the American Heart Association is to be a source of education and community resources. And so some of the things that we'll be doing are things like hands-only CPR demos and helping teach people how to perform that in an emergency situation. We'll have blood pressure screenings, things like that at the event as well.
And this is the leading cause of death. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death.
Yeah, number one killer of women, new moms, and the number one birth defect as well.
You know, and as mentioned at the top of the show, 9 in 10 individuals who suffer a cardiac event die if they're not at the hospital, and a lot of times it's because there's not a bystander around to do CPR, or not a bystander doesn't step up being confident enough.
That's
I
right.
would guess.
So yeah, when your heart stops, we call it a cardiac arrest, and if that happens outside of the hospital, like you said, 90% of the time, that person's not going to survive, and a lot of that is attributed to the fact that CPR is not performed right away. We know that if CPR is performed right away when someone has a cardiac arrest, that can double or triple a person's chance of survival. If you think about Damar Hamlin a few years ago when he had his cardiac arrest, that's a great example of what that should look like and what the positive result is when there's a plan in place and people take action immediately. However, we see, 70% of the time when it's not at a hospital, it's in a home.
Yeah.
And that means that a lot of times that there's not someone there who is prepared to act or knows what to do. And so it doesn't get done a lot of the time.
So preparedness is key, and knowing how to do CPR is important. How do you share with people to be confident in the CPR, maybe if they've had the training already and it's been a few years? How do you share with them to be confident in maybe the knowledge they've tucked away?
Yeah, so that's a big part of why we talk about hands-only CPR. It's conventional CPR just without the rescue breaths. It's been proven to be just as effective if we're talking about teens and adults, and it's a non-respiratory distress situation, so not a drowning, something like that. But really the reason we teach it is it's easy to learn, it's easy to remember, and it gets people to do something. Because when somebody's heart is stopped, that means there is no oxygen going to their organs, going to their brain. Right. And so once you hit the 4 or 5 minute mark, that means permanent damage and disability. And so Really, the goal is, even if you're not doing it perfectly, we want to help people feel confident to jump in and do something.
On your end, what else should we know about cardiovascular disease? Because I know there's life-saving tips, of course CPR being one of them, but preventative measures that we can take as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have what we call our Life's Essential 8. It is really like the 8 key health factors that are your biggest risk factors or indicators of your overall heart health. Those include things that are within your control, like your movement, your controlling your blood pressure, not smoking, things like that. So, I think there's a lot of it that is preventable.
Okay, and all of this information will be available to those who attend the Heart Walk at Geodis Park on Saturday. What time will things kick off?
So we will open it up to everybody at 8 a.m. It's kind of free for all for a little while. We'll have some live music, activities. We'll have balloon artists and face painters for the kids, a ton of that kind of stuff. And then we will do some programming, all of that kind of stuff, and kick the walk off at 9:30. We have a 2.1 mile route, I think is officially what it is, and then we have a half-mile survivor option for survivors, families with young kids, all of that.
Is it easy to register? Does it cost anything to register?
Yes, so it's free to register. You just have to go to NashvilleHeartWalk.org. If you register, you receive all the communication from us about details for event day, but you can also come without registering. So it's a free community event. You can bring your friends, family, strollers, dogs, everybody. We want everybody to come.
I love it. Okay, and if we can't make it on Saturday, can we still turn to the American Heart Association for information? If so, how do we do that? Or how do we reach out to you to have you come out to maybe a community organization?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find more information about us at NashvilleHeartWalk.org or heart.org as well. And you can get plugged in with your local chapter here in Nashville. You can reach out to us and we can figure out what that looks like.
Okay, fantastic. Is there anything that we've left out, Caleb?
I don't think so. I think, from my perspective, I have 2 kids who were born with congenital heart defects. And so really, when it comes to the Heart Walk, my favorite part is getting to watch them walk through Survivor Lane and just kind of celebrate their journey. So I don't know that we've talked about that piece that much, but really, that's really what Heart Walk is about for us, is just getting to celebrate survivors and remember the people that have been affected by it.
How common is that?
That's a good question. I don't remember the numbers. I know congenital heart defects, I think, affect about 1 in 100 births. 1 in 100.
Any, thoughts for those who may be experiencing this with their child, or they had a child born with that defect?
Yeah, it's more common than you think. And I think finding your community is kind of one of the things that really helped us kind of get through that a lot. But I think, the other piece is like the science today is so much more advanced than it was even 10 years ago. And it continues at a pace that is just, it's astounding, like how fast that science keeps progressing. And so, what's not possible today could be possible in just a few years. So
that is great to hear. And again, finding that community, I'm learning, no matter what disease or ailment that you're going through, when you find that community who they truly understand what either that family, the child's going through, that really makes a difference for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Can the American Heart Association connect those 2 communities with whatever cardiovascular disease?
We have online support networks. We have a couple other resources in those places too.
Wonderful to hear. Caleb Bone, thank you so very much. The Senior Project Manager here with the American Heart Association in our Middle Tennessee area. Looking forward to Saturday's event. Be sure that you're at Geodis Park for that. We have a little bit more coming for you in just a moment.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Attendees to the Greater Nashville Heart Walk will learn about CPR accessibility and research. You can register for the Heart Walk by going to NashvilleHeartWalk.org. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.